It's the last week, ladies. My heart is not ready to make this last video, but here we are. And I can do the very simple, lazy thing of, well, in conclusion, and all of these other things and everything like that, but I want to actually point something out, and this may seem a little dark, but stick with me. It's kind of food for thought. So in Revelation, we learned that one of the many crazy things that are going to happen is that heads are going to roll. And I know that seems very blunt and almost kind of campy talking about it, but that's something that's going to potentially, not potentially, but something that is going to happen in Revelation. And something that's very interesting about removing the head from somebody is that it only used to really happen, and you see this in a cinematic form when you watch like war movies or like medieval movies and stuff like that, I haven't really watched Game of Thrones, I don't really know what happens in it, but when it comes to kings and queens and kingdom versus kingdom and all this other stuff, tends to be a lot of beheading. And the reason why that is that it's actually a form of, like, when it's done in a statement, especially when it's like a king or a general or something like that, it's always in the context of saying, I took your crown. I think you might know where I'm going with this. So why bring this up? Because the reason why it's actually happening in Revelation to begin with is because it's the last almost cathartic thing for the enemy to try to make it seem like, oh, I am taking your role. I am dethroning you. And what's kind of funny about it is that, one, it's another lie of the enemy. Keep in mind that this is the prince of lies, the prince of darkness. Keep in mind that he doesn't have actually any true authority. He only has the authority that is granted to him by God. We see this in Job. But then we also see that he can only get granted prince. He can never truly be king. And many of us have probably been exposed to enough I'm a historical buff. I do enjoy a good little tidbit of information about, historical things and stuff like that. And something that I've realized in the course of me listening to Royal Blood on Spotify, that when they were talking about a lot of, whether it's women in power or these other things, that it was all of the court drama was to dethrone or to devalue. You have so many people that are in the line, an heir and a spare and all these other things, and all of these things felt like, they're always coveting the throne, right? They're always craving the power. And much in the same way, the enemy is always craving the power that he knows he'll never get. And it's in fact the fact that he can never gain that power that set him into the place that he is in now, which is completely powerless outside of the leash that, the length of the leash that God has given him. And so I want to leave you with the thought of, the enemy will still continue to try to behead you in certain ways, try to continue to attack you in things and try to devalue, whispers here and whispers there, whether through people or anything like that. You have to remember that the victory was already claimed. And more importantly, that we also see that no matter what the enemy has tried to take from us, the locusts, that God will restore what the locusts have stolen. He is a God of restoration, but more importantly, he is a God that claims victory already. And we can be emboldened by that fact because that's our dad. That is our Heavenly Father. And he loves us dearly. Not to mention we are also co-heirs. So the crowns that we get to lay at Jesus' feet, they were rightly given to us. And that cannot be removed. We cannot be removed from God, and what God has given us cannot be removed unless God is removing it to clear the way so that we have a clear relationship with Christ. I hope that as these past 8 weeks have occurred, that you got something out of this, whether you were able to be a part of the whole thing or maybe just part of it. It's actually why I posted all of these videos, so that way you still have access to the full thing. Please leave me a review. Please let me know what you thought about this, because if I need to tweak things, I would love the feedback. I really value feedback. But yeah, so I love you guys, and I really hope you got some meat and potatoes out of this, and now you feel nice and full with what God has given to you and restored you. I love you ladies so much, and this was such a blessing and an honor to be able to facilitate all of this for you guys. I love you ladies. Mwah. Bye.